Hey, good morning. This is the Tuesday Devo today, and I just wanted to share a few thoughts with you. I hope you're doing well today. I had a question for you. How are you going to remember this time that we're having during this pandemic? These days and literally months that we spent. Are you going to look back on this as wasted time, or are you going to look back on it as time you spent to continue your relationship with Christ, to grow closer to Him? I was reminded of that when I was looking at my devotions today in Psalm 77, verses 11 and 12, and it says this: "But when I recall all you have done, O Lord, I remember your wonderful deeds of long ago. They are constantly in my thoughts. I cannot stop thinking about your mighty works." And he's talking about taking time to remember all the ways that God has been there. I thought that was a powerful thing. It reminded me of a conversation I had with Sandy not too long ago, where we were talking about these undeniable blessings, these times in our lives where we knew that God had just done a miracle. And she challenged me. She said, "Have you ever stopped and just wrote down all the answers to prayer, just all the ones you could think of all throughout your life, and just put them all on paper?" Well, that was quite a challenge. I'd never done that. But as I began to think back of all the undeniable miracles and blessings, and I began to write them out, man, it was amazing to see, and it was encouraging to me that, man, God has been there before. He's going to be there again. And this passage just reminded me of that when I recall of all you've done. They're constantly in my thoughts, all the blessings. Well, if you know me, you know I'm a history buff, and I love all things history. And I found this old clipping, and I shared it on my Facebook a couple weeks ago. But it's of the Pentecostal Evangel. The Assemblies of God, which our church is a part of, used to publish a weekly magazine called the Pentecostal Evangel. And before that, it was called the Christian Evangel. And I found this clip from 1918 when the Spanish flu was going across the country. And it said this: "Here in Springfield, all churches and missions, including the Assemblies of God, are closed because of the scourge of Spanish influenza that's raging in the town." But it says this: "The way to our loving Father's heart and the way to his hearing ear are still open. And we are finding it a splendid opportunity to devote additional time to prayer for our missionaries and for our soldier boys," it says, because this was right at the end of World War I. But I love this. It says, "Where the assemblies are closed, let the saints devote the time that they would spend at meeting to the word and to prayer." I love that. It's like, how are we spending our time? And isn't it interesting that back in 1918, churches had to be closed, and they were encouraging people of how to spend their time. Basically, the church has never been about a building. It's about people. And I thought that was a great idea that they even had then. And as I was reading more about this, the years after the Spanish influenza had swept through the United States and the recovery time, the church saw unprecedented growth. It's powerful. That's what I'm praying for us today. But I just wanted to challenge you today, just a short challenge. Would you take some time with the extra time that you have, and maybe just make a list of all the ways that God has blessed you? Just take some time to say, I'm going to list out miracles and blessings. You know what? I think if you do it, you're going to find, like me, it was very encouraging. And you're going to see God has done so many great things. We are a blessed people. And it should give us encouragement that He's going to do it again. We recovered from 1918. We're going to recover from the 2020. And I think we can come out stronger. And my prayer is that I come out closer to Jesus. And I hope you can do the same. Can I pray with you? Jesus, thank you for an opportunity just to stop and remember. Thank you for the psalmist that wrote out all the amazing blessings that you have done for them, and the fact that they would remember them, that they just were constantly on their mind. God, I pray that you would help us during these extra hours and days, the extra time that we might be doing other things that we can't do, that we would focus on our relationship with you. God, maybe we would just sit down and simply write out the blessings and be once again thankful for all you've done. God, I pray a blessing on every person listening to this and our congregation, that as we come through this, that you'll help grow us spiritually, help us grow relationally with you. And when we have that opportunity to come back together, that you will continue to grow our church and our influence in our community. In Jesus' name, God bless your day.